cute she looks. This sweet little innocent baby. Look at her little paws and her little face. Wow. Wow. I feel like the topic of being a lover in a time where a lot of people are really jaded about love has come up a lot for me recently in therapy and conversations with friends, just in the content I've been consuming everywhere. I feel like I have been thinking about this a lot. I don't know that I even have the right word to describe how I've been feeling about it lately, but the first word that comes to mind is humiliating, which isn't the right word, but it's the closest word I can think of. I love being a lover, being a softie, being someone that wears their heart on their sleeve. It comes naturally to me. It is easy for me to be emotional and to share that part of myself. I've never had a hard time feeling my feelings or sharing them with other people, to the point where it actually feels involuntary. I feel involuntarily vulnerable a lot of the time. It's just who I am, and I think it's a really beautiful thing, but the concept of being involuntarily vulnerable can feel humiliating sometimes, can feel so embarrassing. And I think a lot of that is because there's a lot of pressure to harden yourself or to appear tougher so that you're not the one that gets hurt. If you don't let them see that part of you, people can't take advantage of it and then embarrass you. There's been a lot of times where I wished I was someone that could make it seem like I don't care when really I actually do, but it is so obvious that I care all the time. And genuinely, I believe it is such a good thing. I feel like being a lover, being a softie, being an emotional girly is my best trait. I think it makes me a better friend, a better partner. I think it makes me happier. It makes life sweeter and richer. I think it's a net positive, even though sometimes it does feel like kind of a heavy weight to carry, always having your heart on display like that. A vulnerability hangover, as Brene Brown says. I definitely sometimes feel like I have a vulnerability hangover, and they feel unpreventable. It's the crazy part. So I think as much as I think it's a great thing and I really love this part of myself, there are absolutely days where I just feel like, sheesh, being a lover is beautiful, but God, is it fucking painful sometimes. And I think I feel this way because I also feel that I'm expected to harden, or that I'm expected to toughen myself, or to pretend like I don't care, that things aren't impacting me, and I can't be that. I can't do that. And you know, being in a space where it seems a lot of people are jaded to love and people are resisting vulnerability and emotional intimacy, I don't know, I think it's a lot of things, right? I've talked on the podcast many times before about like why I think dating apps are the way that they are, why so many of us are having similar experiences in dating, especially in cities. It does feel easier than ever for people to avoid emotional intimacy. The dating landscape sucks for everyone. It's tough. Swipe culture has the next person always right around the corner. You are an hour away from finding someone new to hook up with, to hang out with. It's really easy to avoid working on yourself when you can just replace the person you're with every day if you wanted to. I could go on, right? I think a lot of people are hurting, and a lot of people don't have access to help they're hurting. And we also have a lot of tools to help us avoid the hurting. So I get it. I know there's other lovers out there, other romantics, other people that wear their heart on their sleeve and go about their life feeling the way that I do, but God, are they hard to find sometimes. I'll be real and honest with you. So there's this new bookstore that opened up in Brooklyn that only sells romance novels. Everyone on the face of the planet has DM'd me and been like, you need to go to this bookstore. So while we're on the topic of being a romantic and a lover and a mushy gushy gooey girl, I figured we should go check out this bookstore. Now I'll be honest here and say that I am so far behind on my reading goal for this year. I think I read like 28 books last year or something like that. My goal was to read 30 this year. I have read one. Now the thing is, I am halfway through 3 separate books, haven't finished any of them, and it's not because I don't like them. I do like them. I just feel like I've fallen off
the habit of reading. I haven't made time to read, to let myself fall into a book. And you know I'm being honest about it because my favorite romance novel writer, Emily Henry, released a new book. I love all of her other books. They're like some of my favorite romance novels. I've read like the first 3 chapters and I haven't made time to finish it. And I want to. I want to know what happens. I love her characters. I love her writing. I love the love that she writes about in here. I just hasn't been on the top of the priority list, I guess. Let's go check out this romance-only bookstore because I feel like the vibes are going to be right in there. It's going to be a bunch of people aligned with the energy that I wish to see in the world. A bunch of lovers, a bunch of romantics. I'll buy a book or 2 and then we'll sit and talk more about love. How does that feel? Does that feel good for you? It feels good for me. A romance novel has been acquired, and now I have also acquired a Diet Coke, a Caesar salad, and truffle fries because it's what was necessary today. So I ended up getting Love and Other Stories by Christina Lauren, which has been recommended to me 100 million times. So now that's just another book that I have sitting in my apartment that I will read at some point. Oh my God, someone really sexy just looked at me talking to myself. God damn it. But anyways, I'm really excited about that book. I loved The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. It's one of my favorite enemies to lovers type books. It's the book that made me an enemies to lovers type girly. Love it, live for it. Can't wait to read this other book. But I really do need to make a dent in Happy Place before I can even consider doing that. So figured I could read a little bit while I enjoy my lunch. It's a beautiful day. So it's a good day to get a little solo lunch and buy a romance novel. Life ain't so bad, you guys. It ain't so fucking bad. Romance novels were really what got me into being a reader in the first place. I was not a huge reader growing up. I think school kind of squashed my love for books early on, making me read shit I didn't want to read. The Hot Zone? I'm sure somebody out there loved The Hot Zone. I did not. But I think romance novels allowed me to enjoy reading and find books that really meshed for me. In my head, it's because I was and still am the type of person that needs to make up fake scenarios inside my head when I go to bed, but also just when I exist in daily life. I think I'll venture to say about 60% of my top songs, about 60% of my top songs at the end of the year are songs that I get fixated on because I listen to them and I'm like imagining a music video romance love scenario set to the song. I also get that it is very YouTuber of me to admit that I see life in videos and that I go through my life imagining these cute little scenarios, but I imagine them in the way that I would edit them. Like there's a movie that's constantly being cut together inside my own head. So it's more than just imagining scenarios, it's imagining movies that I could make. But I think that's what got me into romance novels and how it became such like a quick interest of mine, because a romance novel is essentially that, except someone took the time to write it down instead of just keeping it inside their brain. I could do that someday. Who's to say? I'd write a screenplay before I wrote a book, but I also feel like I am the target audience for a lot of romance novels because I believe in love so wholeheartedly that you could tell me fucking anything and I'd be like, I'm sold, I'm in, I'm buying into it, this storyline, I believe it, I'm there, it's happening. But I think one of the main criticisms that people have, or why people don't like romance novels, is because they feel like you have to suspend disbelief to an amount that is, I don't know, unrealistic to some people. None of it is unrealistic to me, though. This is how life works inside my head. If life doesn't work like this inside your head, then I'm sorry. It's way more fun when life works like this. And I don't know. I think to me it's just easier to believe in love than to not believe in love. Like a mantra that I repeat to myself all the time, bring it up in so many videos on the podcast all the time, but it's the love I deserve exists because I exist. And that to me just means I can't possibly be the only person that feels this way. Like I don't have to wonder if the love I dream of is out there because I know how I feel. So to me, it just feels like I use myself as proof. There's no universe where I wouldn't believe in love because I know the love that I feel in my own heart. And I think the other part of it for me is that I reject the idea that romantic love is the most important form of love, or that it should be prioritized above all else, or that it is like somehow more superior or potent than other kinds of love. I like wholeheartedly reject that. And this is coming from someone that loves love, loves romance. You know, I'm a hopeless romantic. What can I say? But I also just don't believe that there are certain forms of love that are superior to others. I experience love every single day. I'm surrounded by people that love me. You know, I feel love towards so many people. I don't need to question if love is real or not because I experience it every day. And so I guess it really contributes to why it also feels like I'm sort of unbreakable in that sense. I have an absolutely impenetrable love of love. You can't break me. I feel like I'm unable to be jaded in this category. I have had my feelings hurt more times than I can count, okay? I have met people that were so unkind to me and did not love and cherish and take care of my heart the way that they should have. None of those people have ever made me stop believing in love, though. It just makes me feel bad for them. Having my heart broken by someone would never make me feel like love didn't exist or love wasn't out there. I think things change. People change all the time. I don't really believe in love at first sight or having one great love. I think we can have many great loves in this life. Things don't work out all the time for a variety of reasons, but I think we're just supposed to take the time that we have with someone, love all we have, and if it lasts forever, it lasts forever, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. I just think love is so abundant, and it's everywhere. It's in everyone, and I don't know, people change. Life changes. That wouldn't make me stop believing in love. Also, I think it would be so dumb to let other people's inability to love me impact my perception of love or how lovable I am. I don't know what other people have been through in their life or what it is, taken them to get to where they are today. People deal with their own set of bullshit and insecurities, and if someone can't love me or they don't love me the way that I dream of being loved, deserve to be loved, I'm not going to take that personally. People have their own set of bullshit, set of whatever going on in their lives. It would be so silly of me to internalize someone else's experiences or insecurities or whatever that prevents them from loving me as being like, oh, well, I guess I can't be loved like that then. Because this person couldn't, it means that no one can. Or because this person couldn't, it means that I'm not deserving of that. That seems so silly to me. So anyways, that's kind of why I feel like it's impossible to break my spirit about love. I will be sad and I will be heartbroken and I will let myself cry and feel all the feelings, and I'm not going to make myself feel bad for feeling all the feelings. When your heart gets broken, when things don't work out the way you want it to, when you're disappointed, let yourself fucking cry. You don't need to move on and think up a solution in your head that like rationalizes all of it and makes sense of everything that happens. You're allowed to just feel sad and cry and let it out, and I'll do that, and I'll get to the other side of it. And I can feel all the feelings and cry and be sad without ever turning mean to myself in that process or convincing myself that love isn't real or it's not out there or I'm not deserving of it. I can be sad. I can cry about everything that I wanted to happen that never did. I can let myself feel so disappointed and angry and sometimes empty, but I will never let myself believe that those feelings are permanent or that they're some kind of indicator to my worth at large. allowing myself to process heartache and heartbreak is just me honoring my heart and honoring my softness and my sensitivity, and what an absolute strength it is to be someone that loves like that. As much as everyone else wants to make you feel shitty for being sensitive, I hate those people. They're lying to you. Being sensitive is a strength. Let yourself cry, let it out. Just don't ever let yourself believe that because love can be lost, it meant you weren't deserving of it in the first place, or that the love you do deserve isn't out there, because it is tenfold. And I just love that in romance novels, I can get to the ending, you know? Because sometimes I'm living my own life and I'm going through my own trials and tribulations and my love life, and things aren't working out, but I'm meeting people and this is happening, that's happening, and I always just have to be like, God, I wish that I could see the ending. I wish I could know how this would work out for me. What happens next? How does it end? But I can't know that, and I'll never know that, and who knows if the things I'm feeling and going through now, the people I'm meeting now, are gonna mean anything to me in 10 years. We'll see, right? I don't know those things, but I like that in a book, I can know those things, and I can read someone's entire love story and just feel like an exhale. I'm like, that was nice. I loved that. I also think that being a soft, emotional person has just helped enhance all of the connections in my life, whether it's a romantic connection or not. I feel like when you choose to show up as your soft, emotional, vulnerable self, it just gives other people the permission to do the same. I think it makes people feel more comfortable around you. It opens the door for deeper conversations, and in turn deeper connections. So I don't know, when I think about like what would life be like if I was a hardened version of myself, if I became jaded, if I wasn't a lover, and to me it just feels like I would lose so much more than just like the hopefulness towards the romantic side of things. I actually feel like I would lose a lot of the richness and closeness that I have in my life in other ways. And it would suck to not have those things, to not have that love. So it's like, I don't know, you kind of have to take the bad with the good. And I don't even know that I would categorize hurt as being bad, right? A lot of people, that's how they see it, or it's like, I'm gonna harden myself or toughen myself up so that no one can get in and no one can ever really see me, and therefore no one can ever really hurt me. But I don't know that someone hurting you is like the worst thing in the world. Sometimes we do get hurt, and that's how we learn that someone's not right for us, or we get hurt and it allows us to extend grace to this person, to become more understanding and loving through the process of pain. I don't know. I just feel like I would rather be someone that lives life with their heart on their sleeve and gets to reap all the benefits of that, deepening every connection that I come across in this life, if the only negative that comes from that is occasionally I meet people that take advantage of my sweetness. I'm cool with that. That says nothing about me and everything about them. And it sucks and that's painful, but if it happens, I trust that I know what to do with that pain, which reminds me of an art piece I saw the other day on Instagram. Let me go pull it up. It says, I don't need to soothe myself into detachment. I don't need to protect myself from hurt. Anything that can disrupt my peace will. I don't even need to pretend it won't hurt so bad. I'm human. I'll hurt. It's just a matter of what I choose to do with the hurt. I don't need to sterilize devastation from my library of emotions. Devastate me, baby. I trust I'll know what to do. That's from Lord Cowboy on Instagram. I saw they sell prints of this, so I absolutely need to buy one and hang this up in my fucking apartment, because absolutely, this is exactly how I feel. I'm not worried. I'm not scared of having my feelings hurt, because I trust that I will be able to navigate those emotions. That I will be able to get to the other side of that, grow from it. I'm not trying to live a life that is one note. I don't care to live in a world where only good things happen to me all the time. Like, it sounds good in theory, but in practice, that would fucking suck. And it's not even that I'm not concerned with self-protection. Obviously I am, but not to the point where I sterilize myself of devastation. That would be ridiculous and like so upsetting, right? When I say I'm an emotional person, that doesn't mean I'm only experiencing the good emotions. I want to experience the range of emotions that life has to offer. I really don't have a better way of saying that. Self-protection is good, self-sterilization is not. You don't need to cut yourself off from feeling every negative emotion you've ever felt. You don't, and also you shouldn't cut yourself off from feeling negative emotions. It's important that you feel them, even if they're not fun. And it's funny because I was literally talking about something like this on my podcast 2 weeks ago. I was talking about how I see videos of people acting out different attachment styles on Instagram all the time, and they'll have a conversation with like a secure partner and an anxious partner, a secure partner and an avoidant partner. And I a lot of times don't agree with people's reenactments of what a secure partner would respond like, because to me their responses seem so like sterile and unemotional. Like, they'll have these reenactments of like very emotional and upsetting conversations, and the secure partner will be like, oh, well, I guess I'm moving on because I only want what wants me. And I see those videos and I'm always like, but that's not really how it goes. You can be a secure person and also be an emotional person. Being securely attached doesn't mean that you have no emotional reaction, or that you have to like immediately rationalize any emotional reaction you're gonna have so as to be like as even keel as possible. But you can be a securely attached person and still have an emotional response, right? Like, you should have a healthy emotional response when upsetting things happen to you. Like, I actually think it'd be so fucking bizarre to go through a breakup and on day one, 20 minutes after it happens, be like, oh, well, that's okay, because I only want what wants me. And it's like that to me reads as more avoidant. But I don't know, people online love to do these reenactments where they make securely attached people appear to be like the least emotional of the bunch. I just don't agree with it. So anyways, funny timing on that, because I was literally talking about this 2 weeks ago, and then thinking about this week, see this post. I don't know, timing! There's been so many synchronicities happening in life recently. This is just another weird one, I guess. I think the thing that frustrates me the most about being a sensitive person is how some people will perceive you as if you are fragile. And fragile is not a word that I would use to describe myself. I think I'm emotional, I think I'm sensitive, I think I'm very soft-hearted in, you know, however many different ways you can say that, I am that. And I think as much as people would like to make it out that people like me are weak or fragile. I mean, people use the word sensitive as a dig all the time. As much as people would like us to believe that we're fragile, I actually think that being sensitive is one of the biggest strengths that you can have. I know that's the truth because I live it every fucking day. It is brave as hell to be sensitive, to be emotional, to allow yourself to sit in your feelings. That is brave, that is courageous. I would rather feel all of my feelings to the highest degree and share that with people and get rejected every single day for the rest of my life than wish away these feelings altogether and live a much duller and less passionate existence. I would not trade this version of myself for anything, and I don't think you should either. So anyways, with that, me and the most loving girl I know are gonna have dinner together because she can't even let me eat. Oh. She can't even let me eat. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.